Welcome to Real Talk, episode 26. I am Brian Rose, and this is London Real Studios. But this is not your normal episode. This is where I am here to answer your questions live. I got Facebook live streaming here, Twitter, and the London Real Academy. We put lots of things going on here. And so here, I'm going to tell you what's happening. This has been a crazy week indeed. 1 week ago, I was here in the studio ready to shoot this show. And we had about 2 hours to go, and I got the phone call. And that was from the love of my life, Mariana, and she said, it's time. And so we've been waiting 8 months, I guess it was, or even philosophically years for this to happen. And it was time to go, so we got to the hospital, went over there. Of course, I got there before she did, which was, of course, a little weird since there wasn't much I could do. And about 6.5 hours later, we had baby Kaden Zenith in our hands in all of his glory. And it was quite a memorable time. I won't ever forget it. And now I'm a proper father. I was a father before, but now I have two kinds. I have the step kind and the other kind. So it's been pretty incredible. It's been pretty crazy. Yeah, I posted a video on YouTube a few days later. I think it was like the next day. And it feels pretty good. I don't know. It feels pretty crazy. It's really nice having this visitor in our home. And it's kind of nice having Kaden there. He's kind of like that guest that comes to your home that it's okay for them to stay. You know, unlike your mother or mother-in-law, it's kind of like he's okay to stay. And he's very chilled out. He doesn't cry really at all. He is fairly well behaved, he sleeps good, he's eating really well, healthy, got his body weight back up, and he's just a dream to be around. And his middle name is Zenith, which we kind of battled with back and forth, and we had a lot of ideas for names, but it is short for, it is a shortened version of that is Zen, and he is quite a Zen guy, and he's really calmed the whole household down, including me and everyone else, and he's a real joy to be around. It's amazing how 3.5 kilos can make a real difference in your life, and so it's awesome having him there. I thank you for bearing with me and my baby picture postings. Although I must say, Kaden is the most highly received picture post of any guest I've ever had on London Real, right? They all want more of him. And so I'll be posting little bits of him, but hopefully not too much. But he gets more likes on Instagram and Facebook and than anybody else, including Dan Pena and Ido Portal. So I don't know what that says. Maybe it's because he's a Rose. Maybe he's a future guest. So we'll see. So if you have any questions about that, I'm actually on Facebook Live. If you want to submit questions, I'll answer anything about that whole aspect. You know, I never thought I would become a father. It was just the last thing on my mind, even 5 years ago. But Mariana, she ground away at me over the years, every day, and finally I had to tap out. But no, it was a wonderful thing, and it has a lot to do with London Real, to be very honest, and the fact that I just am here opening up a lot, being vulnerable, connecting with other humans, and realizing there's a lot more going on in this world than just me and my world and my success and my ego and my everything. And so it's been a really nice way to just continue this journey into humanity, really. And so I'm so honored, and I'm so amazed that I almost missed this experience, you know? Like, what a stupid thing not to go ahead and experience this. But I'm also glad it happened now, although I think it would have made me clean up my act if this had happened 15 years ago, because I would have had no choice. And I think that's why kids are engineered in our adult lives, so we clean up our act earlier than we should have, so it makes sense. But at the same time, like, I'm so happy that he's here now, and this is in a wonderful time. And he's just great. He's just a big bundle of joy, and we're taking care of him, watching him like a hawk, but he's pretty resilient. And I can do all sorts of things. I can change nappies like a pro. I can kind of burp him. I can feed him. I can hold him. So I even swaddled him last night. So you can look that up if you want on YouTube. Everyone around here is looking at me funny. But I swaddled him. So that means wrapping him up like a mummy, basically. And he kind of liked it. So we'll see. My sister in San Francisco, she swaddles her young boy. And so I thought I'd give it a try. So there you go. Anyways, if you've got any questions about that whole thing, fatherhood, but I thought I would kind of get that out now before it came up. If you have any questions, hit me up on Facebook Live. Just wanted to say a couple things just in with the latest in London Real News. 4 of our London Real Academy members have just now finished their floating experience in London. We gave away 4 free flotation experiences, and I'm a big fan of flotation. It's a sensory deprivation tank for an hour. One of the earliest videos we did actually on the scene out in London was going to a float tank, and it was really an important part of my life going through that flotation experience. I think it got me into meditation, got me really into psychedelics, and just trying to think a little bit more outside of my head. So we were super excited to give those free spots, and we'll be doing more of those giveaways coming up. And I think we gave those out to people who had been on the site most recently and were in London. So we'll be doing more of those. If you're in a city and on the site, we're going to be doing giveaways there. We had our first live mastermind call on Monday with all members of the London Real Academy. We had like 110 people on the live call, and it's this Zoom software. And it was how to pitch like a pro, all the lessons I learned here from Oren Clough, and all the things I learned about pitching from Daniel Priestley, from Dan Pena, from all the people over the years, and I really broke it down. And it's 30 minutes of instruction, 30 minutes of questions, and after that we left the call open, and everyone from around the world introduced themselves, their name, their city, their most important goal for the year, and it was like a tight community connection, and it was awesome. Everyone loved it. So we're super excited about this new series. Next one is July 4th, and it is Your Hero's Journey, how to turn your failures in life into assets. And it's so true. You know, people think, oh, I messed up this in my life, and I messed up this, and this was a failure. But you can actually turn those failures into a story about how you use those to step your game up. And behind every great failure is a success story. And behind every success story, it's usually based on a failure. And so everyone I've come in and spoken to here in London Real, they have a big failure, and they usually had to change their game. So they fixed that not failing again. I'm thinking of Kevin Green. He's the 100 million pound British property investor who used to milk cows. And he had one day, he was milking a cow, and one of the cows like flicked some dung into his face, but he couldn't stop milking, and he was like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. And that was like, you know, a low point for him, and then he went high. And so our next mastermind, which is for members only, and it's a live call. So I put you on the spot, and I made like 5 people pitch yesterday, like on the spot in front of everybody, and it was awesome. And then everybody uploaded their video pitches to the Academy, and now I'm going through and giving them critical feedback on their pitch. And if you don't know anything about pitches, a pitch is the start of any business, of any product, of any success story. It all comes down to a pitch, which is the way you articulate your vision to the world. So it's so important, and everything starts with a pitch. Every London Real guest has a pitch, and we have one as well. And so that's what that's all about. But then again, that's for members only. If you're a member, you can watch the call from last night, so go check that out and sign up for our next one as soon as possible, because those spaces will go fast. We're going to limit it, I think, to 110 again on this one. So that's happening. Super excited about that series. And we got our super focus group happening June 17th here in London. Show up. It's going to be like the summit. Absolutely incredible. Luis is about to drop our video trailer for the summit, and it looks out of this world, and our Chris Eubank trailer as well, because he did a conversation with me on stage there. They're both off the chain. You might have seen our dynamic meditation, active meditation video inspired by Elliot Hulse, and I sent Elliot Hulse a copy, and he loved it, and it's super intense. We were at the Royal Aeronautical Society, 200 people in a room jumping up and down screaming, right? I was there, Mariana was there. Actually, Kaden was there. He was about 6 months old, but he was there too, jumping up and down in his own way. So anyways, all those things are coming out, but the focus group on the 17th is going to be a lot like that, and we might be doing a little dynamic meditation. I'm just saying, if you show up. And it should be awesome. And the whole idea is we used to have focus groups here in the studio, but it was limited to people, and then afterwards it wasn't the best place to network, but we're going to step our game up and have a great space, great networking event. So come to that. All right, cool. We're going to move on to questions, because this is Real Talk, right? Not just me talking. And but we have all sorts of amazing episodes out. We just dropped Mark Wright. We have Mike Dolce pre-release. We have Oliver Proudlock pre-release for Academy members. What else we have? Alex Reed pre-release for Academy members. Timothy Sheaf, James the Colossus Thompson fighting Kimbo Slice at the O2 Arena. And this just in, I haven't even told Luis about this. We got an email, and we might have Kimbo Slice in the studio to interview here. So I better take back those things I said about you, Kimbo, before Kimbo gets here. But I'm very excited if we get Kimbo here in the studio. I think we're going to get him here a few days before the fight here at the O2 Arena, which I think is July 17th. So very excited to get Kimbo. He's the internet sensation, the backyard brawler, and I've been following Kimbo's career for a long time. So super excited for that. Okay, let's get to some questions here before it gets too crazy. And let me go to some of your questions. Again, if you have them, hit me up on Twitter, go into YouTube. We're all watching those. But let me find out what's going on. I got a few people congrating me on the baby. Somebody says, how do I see the world differently as a father? You know, I'm trying to recognize myself, and I'm not trying to just try to see, is anything really different? And so that's why when I look at Kaden and I look at pictures of Kaden and I'm trying to be objective if he really is the most beautiful baby in the world, or if that's just my monkey brain telling me he is because he's my baby. But you know, what does it change as a father? I don't know. It's a really good question. I just feel so, I don't know, I feel really connected to him, and I feel like I'm so excited about the future and his future, and yet at the same time, I'm also trying not to plan out his future, and I realize that he's gonna have to make his own decisions, and that's something Gabby taught me as well, and so he can't live my vision of his future, so I just want him to live whatever future he wants. I know he's gonna go through many of the hardships I went through. I already look at this little tiny boy, and I know he's gonna feel sorrow and loss, and he's gonna feel heartbreak, and he's probably gonna take care of his body, he's probably gonna abuse his body, he's gonna have people betray him, he's gonna mess up, he's gonna lie, and he's gonna go through these things, and that's just part of life. And so I just wanna prepare him the best way I can. I wanna give him the best experiences of the world. I wanna have him travel, have him just be educated, but also just be experienced and know that there's so many things in the world, and also for him to see his father doing things that I love. And so I don't want to stop doing London Real. I want to do London Real more, actually, and I want to actually triple down on everything we're doing here and do it faster and do it bigger. So that's the effect on me. It's not some crazy big wash. I'm walking around like in this crazy zone, but I think that's good because I think it's sustainable that way. If it had been like some kind of weird like trip, then I think it probably wouldn't be sustainable. So that's good. And like I said, everybody in the house is really happy. So super excited about that. And let's face it, he's got the coolest name in the world, right? Right? Kaden. Kaden Zenith. So it's all good. So anyways, keep your questions coming. I'm going to hit you up with a few of them. We've got a lot of people in the chat today from some of our classes that are going on right now. Chris Fong's in the house. Lisa May's in the house. Sonam. So I had to make a quick reference. We got 30 people right now going through our Business Accelerator course, and they're all doing 10 vlogs in 10 days, right? And when I dropped this assignment on them like a week ago on the call, and we use the Zoom software as well, so I can see their pictures. I was like, you're all doing 10 vlogs in 10 days, and you're going to post them on YouTube and Facebook, and everyone was just like, but everyone's embracing it, and it's amazing. All the people you thought were quiet are the ones that aren't. They're talking about themselves, they're getting vulnerable, they're talking about business ideas, and I'm watching them become key persons of influence right in front of my eyes. So I'm so excited. This group is absolutely intense. You know, we have the modules drop on Friday, and I don't do the calls until Tuesday about those modules, and a lot of them have already finished watching them and finished the work. So it's just like, it's an amazing thing, and they're great people. We have a Wall Street banker, we have a solicitor in London. We have an NHS doctor who's seen 70,000 patients, and now she's branching out on her own. We have 2 graduates from Dan Pena's Castle Seminar who didn't get enough from Dan and now want the good stuff. And so that's 3 graduates, including me. We've got people in Hong Kong. We got people in Vancouver, in California, on the East Coast, in the UK, in Belize, all over the world, and we all come together. The ones in Hong Kong are falling asleep at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and the ones in Vancouver are like waking up and they're all excited. Some people have like pine trees behind them, some people have like white walls, so it's super cool. So I love seeing all you on here, including former CEOs of major retail health food stores are in the course who's just logged on here, and I'm super excited for everybody. Olga's in the house running an amazing flower shop. So these people obviously can't get enough of me on Sundays and Tuesday nights, and now they're logging in. So great to see you all. Again, I'm here to answer some questions. I'll try to move on from the baby stuff, but still, that's cool. Edward said he's watching from an airport in Spain, which is very, very cool. I appreciate that. Someone asked me, what did I want to dream of when I grew up, and what do I dream of doing? And when I was a kid, I remember one of my Halloween costumes was I was going to be a senator. I don't know why, and it said Brian for Senate on my Halloween costume. And then I got into science, and I wanted to be like the greatest scientist ever. So then I went to MIT and did that. But then I got kind of bored with engineering because I saw what the guys at Ford Motor Company were doing, and I worked there for one summer. And I was like, I don't want to be that guy when I'm 40 or 45. And then I went back I saw the movie Wall Street, and I started getting into finance. I started getting the Wall Street Journal delivered to my fraternity house when I was 21. That was a little weird. Started reading that publication back when it was very hard to read. There was no color pictures. Rupert Murdoch. It was just black and white text, and it was very business oriented, but it was awesome. Then I went to Wall Street, tried to be a top Wall Street trader, had a little success, had less success, came to London, had more success, and then got really tired of doing that. And now I am broadcasting and doing this incredible stuff here at London Real with amazing people on the team and amazing people in the academy and amazing people watching me. So I'm feeling great about that. So I am doing now what I dream of and what I love right now. And we just want to take it to all these different levels in all these different ways. So that's what we're up to now. And that's what's kind of on my mind as far as what I'm up to, as far as my dream, but it's good questions. And, people ask me all the time, like, what do I do, Brian? And we're always talking about people finding their passion. And it's hard. It took me a long time and a lot of iterations to find what I'm doing now. I definitely enjoyed what I was doing then. I mean, my first day on the trading floor at Bankers Trust in Wall Street, right next to the World Trade Center on the 33rd floor, and I could see the Statue of Liberty out one side and the World Trade Center on the other side. And it was like 300 traders on a floor, like the size of a football field, and there was no walls, and it was loud. I mean, that was intense, and I loved it, don't get me wrong. And I love coming to London and all those things, but I think ultimately I wasn't really thinking about what I wanted in life. I was thinking about what everyone told me I wanted. And so when you have those kind of disconnects, you find you're living a life you're not happy with, but you don't know why, because you're like, wait a second, I got the car, and I got the jewels, and I got the girls, and then how come I'm not happy? And then you find yourself, drinking a lot, or depressed, or watching TV for 8 hours in a row, and you're like, why am I not happy? And it's usually because you haven't really looked deep inside as far as what you want. And so that's why I love things like floating, psychedelics, listening to people to try to really figure out what you want. And once you know that, I think you can follow things that really excite you and you're passionate about, and then do things that provide value, really. And businesses are great. I love making money. I love people that run businesses that make money. I think that's all amazing, but I think you got to really be feeling about it and having really a lot of passion with that. Otherwise, it does lead to a dead end. And I know when you're poor, when somebody rich telling you money isn't everything, you're like, yeah, really? Tell you what, why don't you do one, okay? And I've been there before too, and so it's just like, don't tell me that. So I get that too, and everyone has to go on their different journeys, and I don't really regret anything I did at all. I don't think I'd do anything differently, really. I mean, maybe I would have had Kaden 10 years earlier, but it would have been a different circumstance. I wouldn't have had his amazing mother then, so man, I have no regrets whatsoever. So, that's kind of where I'm at as far as the deal. Jason Holmes says, Brian, any big plans for London Real this year? How do you plan on taking it to the next level? Looking forward to the 17th. Oh, your first meetup. Awesome, James. Can't wait to see you. You're going to love these focus groups. They're absolutely intense. And the super focus group is going to be even better. There's so many things here. I mean, we have incredible guests here in the studio. Recently, we've had Gary Vaynerchuk, Jocko Willink, the Navy SEAL, who's so intense. He's more intense than anybody else I've ever had in here. We've had Lawrence Krauss, noted atheist, physicist, just interviewed Johnny Depp on stage in Arizona. I mean, we have an amazing list of high quality guests, incredible people. So I love that. I would still just like to step that up even more so we can really talk to anyone we want. We're on television. We love that. We would just like, we just want more. I want more people that we can touch with our digital courses. We just took 10 gentlemen through a TED Talk course, and I'm so proud of what they've done, and I want to see them on stage this year in case any of them are tuning in here. And I want to take another 100 through, and I really want to have, London Reelers on the TED stage in the next year or two everywhere. So I'd like to do that. I'd like to have another, 250 to 500 graduates of our Business Accelerator program. I'd like to raise a fund so we could actually fund the people in our Business Accelerator as well, or have a very close association with a crowdfunding company like Cedars here in London to do both of those things and put our own money in there. I'd like to do that. And then, of course, doing what we're doing right now, which is advising some corporations on their media strategies, producing some bespoke media for certain technology companies and other companies that really want to tell their story in a London Real way. I think we're good at telling stories, and I think our conversations, especially on Silicon Reel and on London Real as well, really get to the why of someone's why, we call it around here, from Simon Sinek. And I think if you understand someone's why, then you understand their business, and then you want to buy things from them. So if you know why we do London Real, I think you're like, yeah, I'm in. But if you just know that we do interviews every week and we post them on YouTube, you're like, yeah, a lot of people do that. And I agree, a lot of people do that. But the reason we do it is the reason you want to be a part of it. So want to do more of that and build that out better, and then just get great people working for us. Great team, host amazing live events, support all of our Real subsidiaries around the world. We've got New York Real, Toronto Real, Expat Real, Vancouver Real. We got crazy reels, Tokyo Real, Flow Real. We got all sorts of great reels around the world too, and I want to help them step their game up and then bring our technology game right up to the very top. You probably noticed the London Real Academy site is super fast, super functional, and we're going to take that to a whole nother level as well. So just doing that and then improve myself. I think I need to become a better interviewer, become slightly better dressed, and become just a little bit better looking would be great. So that's the plans for the future. Richard Morgan is tuning in right now. He just finished our TED Talk course. Richard, you got to come into studio and give me your TED Talk because you missed our big TEDx London Real Day. So yeah, Richard's going to be on stage. Richard has an amazing TED Talk about how technology is disrupting the workforce, and Richard has a very successful placement agency for employees, and he really has a great way of looking at technology and how it's going to affect his son and future generations when it comes to looking for a job. So super excited about that. And we got Olive in the house from New York Real. Olive interviewed me here in the studio 9 months ago, and I'm due for another interview. So if someone wants to interview me, then shout me out here or come on, because I'm due to start flapping my gums a little bit here and give you a State of the Union. But Olive did it last time, and Olive wants me to come to New York to do an event. Okay, that's a good idea, Olive. Okay. Just check with the Kaden Patrol. If he says it's okay, we'll come. Or maybe I'll bring him. As soon as he's good to fly, we're going to take him everywhere. So yeah, that's the plan with that, and Richard's going to be there. So yeah, those are the plans for London Real coming up. It's as usual, we're trying to go big and go very often. And again, just more events and more ways to connect, and we're just trying to really find out what the Academy members want, listen to them, and give them the best way to connect. It's funny, a lot of people on the Academy, and a lot of you watching right now, you want to connect with other people, and you don't know how to do it, and you don't want to get uncomfortable and go out of your zone and go out to these live meetups and go introduce yourself, because let's be honest, you're probably a bit introverted, like me, okay? And so you watch this show and you love getting the knowledge, but you don't get out of your shell. And so a lot of people like you join the Academy, and so it's my job to find ways to get you out, because once we can get you talking about yourself and get you vulnerable and open up, you'll realize that everybody wants to help you. They want to see you succeed. They also want you to step your damn game up a little bit and start really doing and playing big. Stop playing so small. There's no point. You know, time is ticking. As I know now, I'm 45, Kaden's on his way, he'll be 20 soon. So I gotta get, and then I'll be 65. So I don't have that much time, and you don't either. So I think really our job at London Real is to find ways of getting you to get out of your shell, to connect with these people, and to just show up to these live meetups, to come and do these calls and do all of these big things. And so that's really the job I'm tasking myself with, because social media is great and YouTube's great, but a lot of people turn it off and then they go back into their closed worlds. And I think part of our remit here at London Real is to try to get people to connect with other people that are like-minded, that want to build better versions of themselves, that want to upgrade their peer group for reals, and just really step it up. And all of the guests that have come through here have helped me step my game up. Every single one of them, Mike Dolce, Jocko Willink, Simon Sinek, Dan Pena, Ido Portal, they all make me step my game up. And so I feel like I need to step your game up. So that's what this year is all about, really, the next 12 months. And not just talking about it, actually getting you to do it. And so that's why we're doing all these live calls on London Real. That's why I'm getting you to put your face on this software so I can call you out on video. That's why we're doing these mastermind calls. That's why I'm doing a live goal setting call for any new annual member where I get on there and we set out your goals for 90 days. We're offering all of those things. That's why we're doing more live events. We're doing tribe dinners here in London. We did a meetup in Vancouver. We're going to do meetups in Toronto, in New York, everywhere. And yes, Olive, I am going to hit the road, and I'm going to be out there, because if that's what it takes to get you out and meet these people, it's incredible. And I'm going to finish on this. If you were at this summit meeting on March 12th, there was 200 London Reelers in there, and the energy was off the charts. I mean, seriously, the active meditation, the like brotherly and sisterly love, everyone opened up. Everyone was jumping around, just letting their emotions out because they were in a space where they weren't going to be judged, where you can be vulnerable, where you can be yourself, but at the same time, people aren't going to accept your bullshit excuses anymore for why you're not doing something. Oh yeah, I'm going to read a book about it. I'm going to take a class. No, you're not. Why don't you just do it? And so we're there to make you do it. And we're there to inspire you or drag you or whatever we have to do. And so that's what we're all about here at London Real. And once you're in that room with these like-minded people, it's incredible. It's really incredible, the energy. And we felt it, and it impacted every one of us here in the studio. And it hit us for like days. And we were having meetings outside the studio, and I had a meeting with everyone here, and we were like, what just happened? Okay, this is big. This is special. And so we want to continue doing these live events and channel the energy that is London Real and London Realers, really you people, and get everyone together to where we can get a critical mass, and then like big things happen. Explosions happen, companies are built, movements are started, and you're building the best version of yourself. And so that's really what we're all about. And on that note, I'm going to call it. This has been Real Talk. Please leave me your comments, leave me your questions. Go on the LondonRealAcademy.com, leave me your questions for next week on Real Talk. Maybe we'll have a guest. We'll see how that goes. And until then, keep listening, keep loving, and keep pushing yourself.